So here's a system that I found interesting because it doesn't look like something that you would normally buy. Here we go. The iBUYPOWER Pro Gaming PC computer setup. Let's swap over to this one real quick. This one, you're probably like, what are you even thinking, dude? This thing, either you think it looks cool or you think it looks awful. Actually, I'm not sure what I think on that. But I wasn't actually looking at, I wasn't actually looking at the looks. I was actually looking at the stuff beneath, which is what I do. So, for looking at this one, Pro Gaming PC computer setup, Revolt to liquid cooled Intel i5 10600KF. We'll get to that in a second. 4.1 gigahertz is great, by the way. If you can overclock that higher, which is liquid cooled, so generally speaking you could, you're going to get some like really great performance out of this. NVIDIA GeForce GTX 660 Super 6GB, 8GB of RAM, 240GB SSD. We've knocked down price tier a lot. We're down to like the $1,300 price tier. So things have decreased drastically, but this system actually stood out as one of the best ones when you jump down in price. It's still getting really, really great kind of bang for your buck in terms of power. And it's mostly because of this Intel i5. Let's look this up in the hierarchy if it's even on. This is a more uncommon CPU. Not here. So let's do pass mark on it. Let's see where it compares. So we're down here. It's comparable to the i7 9700, I guess. In terms of its value, it's saying its mark for the price is like almost top tier. That's interesting. Almost as good as a Ryzen 5 3600. So remember, Ryzen 5 3600, that's the one we were just looking at. And I was saying that is, oh, sorry, 3600, not 5600. I was going to say that's top tier. No, that's actually not. Ryzen 5 3600 isn't top tier, but it's very, very good. It's still here quite high up on the list. The 70 through 77 percentile. It's still a really good GPU. And you're comparing your bang for your buck here on that. It's comparable to the i7 9700. Is that what it said? Yeah, i7 9700. Yep. So you're like right around here in performance, which is actually really solid for a $1,300. And you're close to top 10. You're like close. You're close there. Ranking. That's pretty dang good, honestly. For a system of this price, and this is the reason why I added to the list, because this CPU is you're gonna get a lot out of the CPU for quite a while, and you're definitely not gonna be bottlenecked by it. Next thing on the list is the GeForce GTX 660 Super 6GB. This is actually like a good card for its era. Here we go. The GeForce 660 Super right here. Yeah, the 1660 Super. So yeah, notice it's a little farther down this list. You're going to see that with these GPUs. It's still a good GPU. You're going to be able to 1080p game in high FPS with this. And you know, you've got room to upgrade on this one. Plus you're still getting an SSD. And when you're in this price range, like you got to sacrifice something, right? And this one seems like it seems like just come close to not fully letting go of any of the core things. Remember, as a gaming PC, you want focus on a couple of different things. You want a great processor that's not going to bottleneck you. It's going to give you room to grow. You can just keep that same system for like 7 years and it still be really, really great for a long time. You want at least a modern graphics card now or room to upgrade later down the road. You also want to have enough RAM to play modern games, and you want to have a solid state drive to be able to load games quickly. Those are like your core criteria. So this one's like pretty much there. your card is good enough that you could get by for now, another year or two, then maybe upgrade. You're saving money on that now to maybe upgrade later. It only has 8 gigabytes of RAM, but you could expand that easily. RAM is cheap. That can be like the first thing you expand to 16 gigabytes very simply for like another $100 once you have it. The 240 gigabyte SSD, it is a small amount of space. However, I do believe, let me check on this one. I think it has some extra hard drive space. Yeah, this one also has a 1 terabyte hard drive. So whatever you can't, you have enough room for your games. You might have to trade spots with the games. Like if you have too many games, you might uninstall some, make room for some other ones. But at least your games will always be running off of an SSD. And then you have 1 terabyte of normal hard drive space to store all of your other stuff. That's great. This little system, whether or not you like the design or not, realistically speaking, is actually quite good for its price range. And like, if I were in that budget, I think, looking at the other ones in this price range, this one is like one of the better ones. I had a hard time finding a better system that just kind of had a little bit of everything that you really want. This has a little bit of everything that you really, really want, plus some room to grow in all the right areas. Like, you're not sacrificing, processor, CPU, where it's going to be the hardest to grow. You can easily grow on graphics card in 2 to 3 years. You can very easily grow in RAM in like a couple months if you need to. And the storage space, the SSD and stuff, that you could be good. You could actually be good with that the whole time if you're just smart with how you manage your space on that SSD, or you could expand to another SSD if you want to. All options with this one. Even though, the look, maybe I think you'd have to see it in a space. This picture I think is the most helpful. This is something that could actually like sit on your desk and look kind of cool. It's pretty small and compact, so you're not going to take up a ton of space here. And it's very unique design as well. It's not one that you're going to see very often. Some people are like, they don't even know it's a computer because it's very uncommon. So $1,220 on this one. And like I said, and the other ones in this range are going to be hard to find one where you get everything. And the $1,300 price tier range, you got to make some sacrifices. You just have to. You're not going to be able to get, that top tier performance at this price range. You're going to be able to play, but you can play modern games in 1080p with, for the most part, 60 FPS, even at really, really high settings with something like this. You will be able to do quite well across the board, and it should last you a while too. This is a system you can invest in more and grow.